Hey, I'm Justin with Cognito Motorsports. Today we're going to show you an installation on a lift kit. It's a 4-inch standard lift kit on this brand new 2021 Chevy 2500 HD. We're going to be installing this Cognito 4-inch standard lift kit, but it does have some add-ons. So we went ahead and added on the SM series upper control arm kit, the ball joint style, and we are going to add on our patented Pitman and idler arm support kit. Very important add-on. Will save your Pitman and idler arms. I'm going to show you the wheel and tire we're going to put on this truck as well. It's one of my personal favorites, Method race wheels, and we're going to put 37 1250s on this truck. That's what's going to end up on it right there. One of the important things I want to show you real quick before we lift this truck up in the air, we just pulled it in, but what's important in the end with a good ride is not only the quality of shock absorber. So you can see here we have the Fox Performance Series IFP shock. But what's also really important is the geometry of the suspension kit and also the amount of droop travel that you end up with. So I'm going to show you how we measure droop travel. So right now we just pulled the truck in, we have not lifted it up yet. So I'm going to look at tire to fender well. I've got 8 inches there. Now we're going to lift the truck up. I'm going to show you how the easiest way to measure droop travel. So I'm going to lift the truck up until the tire's not on the ground anymore. So you can see the tire's not touching the ground. I'm going to measure again, and I have about 11 1/4 inches. So I have 3 1/4 inches of droop travel there. You'll see when we're done with this lift kit, we're going to end up with 3 inches of droop travel, which is really important for having a good quality ride. Okay, we're 12 man-hours into the installation on this truck. Everything's bolted on. We're ready to put the wheels on and set this thing on the ground. A couple things I want to show you real quick. Non-torsion bar drop design. Instead of the torsion bar dropping down with the lower control arm, which it would normally be hanging down about 4 inches further, that means that we would have a chassis bracket in the middle of the truck, so the torsion bar and torsion bar crossmember would be hanging down there. We don't have that here, so we're keeping the torsion bar tucked up in the frame. We don't have a drop bracket in the rear. You get a cleaner look and more ground clearance. Because of that design, this bump stop swings in a different arc than normal. That means if we didn't have this frame bracket here, we would be scrubbing this bump stop on the frame. It would not last long, it would wear out. This surface right here is at the proper angle, so this bump stop will hit it at 90 degrees. This will last much longer and work properly. As I pointed out earlier, this is a 4-inch standard lift kit, but we did add a couple things. The upper control arm kit and the Pitman and idler support kit. One thing I want to point out with our upper control arm kit, you see how we put the badge logo on the front of the arm here. That's because we've already moved the ball joint back in the arm about 1/2 inch to improve caster angles for better freeway drivability. This badge needs to be at the front, just like the instructions say. Sometimes we see people getting arms on the wrong side of the truck. That will hurt caster and make the truck a little bit squirrely on the freeway. That's very important. Another thing is you can see the Pitman arm bracket in the Pitman and idler arm support kit right there. Another really important steering kit. Been a GM problem in the steering for 40 years. We've got a patent on that fix. You'll see this loose fastener here, the lower control arm. The bolts are in it, but the fasteners are not tight yet. The reason is we don't want to tighten those until we set the truck on the ground at ride height, so that vulcanized bushings in these pivots are not binding and fighting against our good ride quality. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, there's a few things that are really important to get the quality of ride that you want when your truck is finished. It's going to be the quality of shock. It's going to be the suspension geometry, the geometry of your lift kit. It's also going to be the amount of droop travel you end up with, but also tires are really important. Cheap tires, usually you get a cheap ride. I'm going to show you right now. You can see we're at full droop. All you want to do to measure the droop travel you're going to have, before we set the truck on the ground, we're going to measure from top of tire, so straight up from the hub. Set my tape measure top of tire, and I'm going to go to bottom of fender well. I'm at about 13 7/8 of an inch. All right, so we've got our truck done. I've already got the ride height set. We've already got the alignment done, but I'm going to show you how I set the ride height. Wanted to make sure we had our minimum of 3 inches of droop travel. So same thing we did before when the truck was on the hoist. Straight up from the hub, on top of the tire, measuring at the bottom of the fender well, same place I did before. I've got right at 10 3/4 inch or so I have just over 3 inches of droop travel. Again, that's super important. We don't want people setting these trucks too high. If they need it higher, either because the tire's rubbing, you got to do some trimming, or you should have got a bigger lift kit. You set them higher, they're not going to ride right. You're going to wear parts faster, things like that. The tire we used is a 37-1250 Toyo Open Country RT. The wheel is an 18 by 9 inch method race wheels. This wheel has a positive 18 millimeter offset. You can use a 0 offset with that 9 inch wide wheel. The tire with a 0 offset is going to stick out about another 3/4 of an inch. You might have to do a little more trimming, but nothing super major. You might get a little more dirt on the side of your truck, but it's all in the look that you want. You saw me pull the truck in. You always want to settle your truck, settle the suspension before you take that measurement. If you set the truck on the ground straight from the hoist, it's not going to be settled out yet. So that's why I pulled the truck in and then measured. Awesome truck, white 2021 Z71 2500 HD Texas edition, Cognito 4-inch standard lift kit, Cognito SM series upper control arms, Pitman and Idler arm support kit. Awesome truck. Thanks for following along.